Hello everyone. This is Tuxedo Marks, as you can see on the screen, and welcome to the Twos League Season 3 wrap-up show. This is a rare occurrence for you to hear me on the mic, so I'm sorry that you have to experience it, but that's how it goes. That's what you get for being Rocket League players. All right, so to start off, I think let's go through the brackets. We'll go through the brackets, we'll go through the champions, go through the all-stars, and then we'll go through the MVPs. I feel like that's a pretty nice way to go tier by tier. And then after we go tier by tier, we're going to go GM of the season, franchise of the season, and just kind of clean it up like that. So let's start with the contender playoff bracket. So it's a little bit like going to spoil you on the champions, but you guys should already know the champions. So once again, I don't feel bad for any of you. So first up, we got the contender. Ultimately, the champions were the Dodo Birds as the 3 seed. As you can see on the bracket, they took out the 2 seed and the 1 seed in very convincing fashion, and then proceeded to dominate the culprits, only dropping 1 game to the culprits. So good job, Dodo Birds. Here's our nice graphic. And on the Dodo Birds, we had Shazam Poof, Slowlo, and Tech 4 were your 3 players on the Dodo Birds. And that was part of the Birdcage franchise with the GM of Ncreds. So who's the worst GM? If you'll notice, they kind of just gave him this one for free because they felt bad for him. But terrible GM, but got lucky, got a lucky contender team. You know, sometimes even the worst GMs get a championship team. That's just how it goes. Congrats once again to Shazam, Tech 4, and Slowlo for persevering through Enkhead's terrible GMing and winning it despite him being your GM. Up next, we've got the Contender All-Stars. So for Contender All-Stars, for the Solar tier, we have Cali Chromatic representing the Culprits, Suxy representing the Imps, Shazam Poof representing the Dodo Birds for Lunar, and NGU Ice representing the Culprits for Lunar. I'm not sure if these are actually mixed up properly by conference, but here we are. You got them. Congrats to all our Contender All-Stars. Excellent showing. Obviously, the Culprits making the final. Suxy had a great amateur season in 3s, I remember, and carried it over a little bit to 2s. So congrats to everyone here. Our MVP for contender, drumroll please, is Cali Chromatic of the Culprits. So congrats, Cali. The only player this season to appear in 2 different finals. It's a fun fact for you. Cali Chromatic showing up with the in the contender finals and getting subbed up to the prospect finals. What a stud. Incredible. How can you not get the MVP if you're considered good enough to play in the tier above as well? Obviously well-deserved. Great job. Calichromatic, great person. Running for admin, so, you know, keep that in mind. I'm not saying vote necessarily, but, you know, if you're a staff member, maybe don't not vote, you know. All right. And with that, we're moving on to prospect. So for our prospect bracket, as you can see by my nice graphics where I just screenshotted the Google Drive, we've got overall the Ghouls winning from the lower bracket. But that isn't to put anything against the Fugitives coming in as the 3 seed, knocking out the Ghouls in the first round, getting a 3-1 on the 1-seeded Rocks, and then a nice 3-1 on the Average Joes as well to make it to the finals. So this is a team that definitely earned their spot in the finals. They had to fight their way to it, knock down the eventual champions in the first place. And then lower bracket, the champions, Ghouls, beat the 1 seed in a close series, beat another 1 seed 3-1, and then swept the other 2 seed, the Average Joes, to make to the final. And then, of course, essentially swept in the grand finals. That 1 game advantages for the Fugitives from coming from the upper bracket. So I don't think They won a game during the series, but still great run for them in the playoffs and a great run for Ghouls. So congrats to the Ghouls, who I'm going to show on screen now. Multitasking, not my strong suit. And congrats to the Ghouls for being the Season 3 Prospect Champions. These are my boys. Had them, it's the AGM of this franchise, so I'm a little biased, but your boy Blue, Just Laban, and Astarte, bringing it home. We had his lineup was mixing it up all season, switching our rosters around, making a couple changes. Overall, came in as a second seed and did work. And then, of course, there with the mythical franchise with Hawkish as the GM, also another terrible GM. If it weren't for me and Action Chugger, no success would have been found in this franchise. Hawkish just... What can you say about him? There's a reason. Well, I don't want to spoil it, but you'll find out later. But, terrible guy, terrible franchise. Can't say enough bad things about him. But once again, congrats to his team for persevering and doing an excellent job winning despite having to deal with Hawkish's terrible GMing. And then for our Prospect All-Stars, we have, for the Solar franchise, a Game CP and Razor Elite, both representing the Nikomata. So congrats to them. And then for the Lunar, we have Mr. Steven representing the Rocks and Ben representing the Fugitives. And of course, Ben was the 3-time in threes, won some twos championship 2. Dude cannot be stopped. This is the first season I've seen him be stopped. So definitely a deserved all-star for all of these guys. Congrats. And then for our MVP, for the prospect tier, well, MVPs, we have a Game CP representing the Nekomata and the Solar, Ben representing the Fugitives and Lunar, and overall Ben with the Fugitives. Congrats to a Game and Ben, and of course, especially to Ben with overall. Well-deserved. Man does not disappoint. Always a stud. It's kind of unfair they let him be a GM, in my opinion, but, I guess he earned it or something. I'm not really sure, but it seems kind of unfair to give such a stud just a whole franchise. And then with that, we will be moving on. Don't be toxic in the chat. I'm only allowed to be toxic because I'm on the mic. Special privileges. Oh, wait. All right, and with that, we're moving on to the Challenger playoffs. So for the Challenger playoffs, the Isonade, who knows? Impossible to know. There's no way I could Google it and find out real easily. They came in as a second seed, took out the third seed, swept the first seed, swept another first seed, came into the finals as the upper seed. Lycans getting taken out by a first seed, dropping to the lower bracket, but then hitting 2 first seeds on the way, close series, makes it to the finals. Unfortunately, not able to pull it off. Isonade, great series. Marcus, don't talk to me. Isonade with a great finals. I mean, I produced it. It was a fantastic series. A little back and forth. See, the Lycans took 2 games off them, but Isonade had it in the bag. Only needed 3 wins and got their 3 wins. So congrats to them. And that roster will be Confucius Dragon, Bry 456, and Tryhard Goblin, representing the Yokai with the GM Coop, making Coop proud. Absolutely congrats to all these guys. Well-deserved. Bry was a stud in that finals. But everyone played their part. Great finals. And yeah, congrats to them and congrats to Coop and the Yokai. Our Challenger All-Stars are going to be representing Solar. We got the Real Dub with the Extreme Ease. And that is not his name or the logo, but that's Bry 456. I think, wait, there's not a Crusaders this season, is there? No. Okay. Well, I think it's just old info. Anyways, Bri 456 representing the Isonade of the yokai. For Lunar, we've got Riddle from the Strix and Griffin from the Strix. Obviously dominated Lunar. Their fellow players felt the same. Great showing from everyone here. Congrats to our Challenger All-Stars. And our Challenger MVPs are going to be the Real Dub, representing the Solar Conference, Riddle, representing the Lunar Conference, and overall, Riddle from the Strix. So congrats to Riddle from the Strix. I mean, came in as the number 1 seed, had a little bit of a disappointing playoffs, but it happens. You know, playoffs that's kind of the excitement of them. Anyone can take it as long as you make it in. So great season for everyone here, and congrats to our Challenger MVPs. All right, and then we're moving on to the rival bracket. For the rival, ultimately we had the Escapists as the 1 seed coming in and winning, but from the lower bracket, so a little spice there. The Daring D's, on the other hand, coming from the upper bracket as the 1 seed, start in the 2nd round, take out the 2 seed easy, sweep their way to the finals. Take out the Escapists, the eventual champions, sweep them. Done deal. Easy stuff. Escapists dropping down, but only have to play 1 game in the lower bracket, take out the 2 seed, sweep them. So it looks like in Rival we had 2 strong 1st seeds. Compared to our previous ones, we haven't seen that so far. These 1st seeds were not letting themselves get upset. Escapists come from the lower bracket after getting swept by the Daring D's, come in and sweep them in the finals. Great showing from them, but also incredible showing from the Daring D's. You can't say it's a bad season. You come in from the 1st seed, you sweep your way to the grand finals. Of course, yeah, you don't want to lose the grand finals, but great showing nonetheless. No one can be disappointed with that. And just great showing from both these teams. But our championship team was the Escapists from the Alcatraz. On this team, we've got Jordan, 1377. We got Beans Dot. Never forget the dot. And then we got Fluffles. All 3 great players. I mean, I've got Jordan and Beans on my Threes franchise. So, you know, that speaks to their quality on its own. Fluffles, I've had on my Threes franchise before. Also speaks to the quality. And of course, representing the Alcatraz. Sorry, I keep reading this freaking chat and Icy is trolling me, so I keep reading this. Yeah, great showing from the Escapists. Giving Ben another trophy to add to his name like he needed any more. Once again, congrats to Jordan, Beans Dot, and Fluffles. Okay. And then we've got our rival All-Stars. Who could it be? Could be anyone. Let me tell you, it's a surprise. You will never guess. We've got 69 Smurf Killer and Mike G Fuel Com representing the Daring D's coming from the Solar Conference. Coming from the Lunar Conference, we've got Fluffles with the Escapists and Mr. Numbers with the Dracos. See, you thought, oh yeah, I saw Jordan and Beans in the finals of the 2s. Oh, obviously they're going to be the player representing the Escapist from the All-Stars. Wrong. Fluffles, super sub, coming in as the All-Star despite sitting the bench for the finals. That's how good that team was. Their bench player, still an All-Star. And then, for our rival MVPs, we've got 69 Smurf Killer coming from the Solar Conference. From the Lunar, we've got Fluffles. Once again, an MVP sat the bench. He's that much of a stud. They're that much of studs. Overall, 69 Smurf Killer. Congrats on overall MVP for the rival conference, representing the Daring D's. Incredible showing. All right, and with that, we're moving on to the veteran bracket. For the veteran bracket, we had in the finals the Chimeras versus the Bake Kujira. With the Baki Kujira coming from the lower bracket, we always love to see it. I don't, because they beat my team, but still, congrats to them. Baki Kujira comes in as the 2nd seed, makes a great run to the semifinals before dropping in 5 games to the Chimeras. And if I recall correctly, that was in an OT comeback by the Chimeras to win that series. So it was even closer than it looks on here. And then the Chimeras coming as a 3 seed, being a 2 seed, sweeping the Inmates as the 1 seed to make it to the grand finals in the upper brackets. Baki Kujira comes in the lower bracket finals, sweeps the 1 seed, says, we're not getting knocked out. We've had a great run so far. Makes it to the finals with the game against them. Remember, Chimeras coming from the upper bracket had a game on them, beat them 4-3. So they had to win 4 games. So overall, they won 4 games in that series to 2. So great showing from them. And then the Baki Kujira championship team, of course, representing the Yokai, General Manager Coop. We've got Tor, we've got Curamex 08, and we've got Kundi. Tor and Kundi looked incredible in that series. Congrats to you. Great finals. Great season. I mean, what can you say about it? Yeah, number 1 seed is cursed always, and it seems to be even more cursed in 2s. I don't know what's going on with that, but you're correct. I don't know why it's so cursed. All right, and so yeah, congrats to the Baki Kujira of the Yokai. Great showing. For our veteran All-Stars, we've got a little bit of a sweep in both conferences. K Slider, representing the Musty of Flix 101, and King, also representing the Musty, coming from the Solar Conference. And then we've got from the Lunar Conference, Fish and Zay of the Inmates. Zay switched squads, and still pulled out the MVP. I think Fish was IR'd for part of the season. Still comes out with an All-Star. Sorry, MVP, All-Star, whatever. So congrats to these guys on All-Star. Incredible showing. I know that all of these are solid players and had a great season. Fish, I mean, what else can you say? You come in as the freaking IR and still get the All-Stars. Great showing. Now we got our veteran MVPs. Get excited. From Solar Conference, we got Slider LJ23. From the Lunar, we got Fish. And overall, Slider LJ23 is your overall veteran MVP. Congrats to these guys. Awesome showing. Great season. Yeah. What else can you say? These guys are studs. Fish has been a stud for 2 seasons now in veteran. He better get moved to Premier, otherwise the tier's broken. Next up, we've got our Elite Bracket. In our Elite Finals, we had the Prisoners versus the Gyuki. Gyuki coming from the lower bracket. The Gyuki's run, let's go with the Prisoners run. Prisoners, get a first round bye, squeak by the Wyverns, squeak by the Gyuki to get into the finals. But hey, a win's a win. 3-2 is a 3-2. That's a win. Gyuki sweeps, beats a 1 seed, loses a close series to a 1 seed, drops down, sweeps a 3 seed, and then in the grand finals, down a game off the bat, gets a reverse sweep. If you guys didn't see it, the VOD, the highlight will be up on the channel. You need to go watch it. If you want to see a clinic on a reverse sweep, this is the series to watch. Great showing. And then our Elite Champions, the Gyuki roster of Marcus, Phyllis, and Sir Tommy Noble, representing the Yokai and Coop. I know we saw Marcus and Phyllis, Philly is washed. Dude changes his name like Justin does. Put on a great showing. Excellent teamwork. Started off a little shaky. Lost 2 games. Down to match point. Comes back and wins 4 in a row in dominating fashion after figuring out exactly what they need to do. Philly's excellent teamwork. If you want to see team play to the max in 2s, this is the series. You cannot say either one of these guys solo carried. Couldn't have done it without each other. And of course, Sir Tommy Noble bringing up in the rear. I'm sure he was in that VC, hyping them up, helping them out. So congrats to them. Congrats to the Yokai. That's like the third time I've said that franchise. So please stop winning. Thank you. So our our elite all-stars. We're going to have from the Solar Conference, Skolzy9 representing the Brilliant Bees. Marcus representing the Gyuki. Big surprise. From Lunar, we've got Slate representing the Blight. And then we've got Icy representing the Prisoners. Big surprise. So congrats to everyone here on their all-star performance this season. I mean, we saw 2 of these in the finals. I personally know Slate was killing it out there. Skolzy, that's a name I've seen before. Great player. Deserved all-star. For our elite MVPs, a little bit of a typo here, but we're rolling with it. Elite MVPs from Solar, we got Skolzy9. From Lunar, we got Slate. And overall, Skolzy9 takes it for your elite MVP season 3. Congrats, Skolzy. Excellent job. Fantastic season. All right. All right. So we got one more tier. We're moving quick, guys. I'm not really a talker, so I just got to do it before I say too many ums so you can understand me. So our final tier, of course, is Premier. Going to the Premier bracket. In the finals, we have the Basilisks versus the Astrid. Astrid beating the Basilisk in the first round, knocking him down right away in a 5-game series, a barn burner, 3-2. Go to the semis. Sweep the 1 seed. Make it to the finals. Basilisk have to start from the beginning. Sweep the 4 seed. Sweep the 1 seed in the lower bracket finals. Come back. 1 game disadvantage. Wins in 7 games. Banger of a series. This was all over the place. We had quite the performance from these guys. So once again, if you haven't watched it, it will be highlighted. You should go watch it. Amazing series. And with that, that is our premier champions are the Basilisks. And that roster will be Ethone, Super, and Shaner Boehner representing Mythical and GM Hawkish. I know it was Ethone and Shaner in the finals, but Super, incredible player, really rounded out this roster. I mean, I got to give all credit to Shane on this one. Speaking from being behind the scenes, management didn't really have too much of a hand in building this team. Shane came in, found the players he wanted, took this team to the finals, and him and Ethone put on a great show in the finals. So congrats to the Basilisks on an excellent season and on the championship. Great showing from them. For our Premier All-Stars, we've got Leaf of the Atomic, Ethone of the Basilisk, CJ of the Plague, and Reg Famous of the Garuda. I don't know why it's showing Birdcage, but of the Garuda. Reg, is it Reg or Reg? Say it in the chat. Because I feel like I've read your name for like 5 seasons now, and I still have no idea what it's supposed to be. So, is it like Ronald Reagan? Is it Reg? Okay, it's Reg. The chat is voting Reg. Got it. Okay. No, I'll go with it. I'll allow it. I was thinking of telling you you were wrong, but I think I'll let this one pass. I was gonna change it for you, Reg, but I'm letting it go. All right, so congrats to our Premier All-Stars. Great showing from them. Obviously, Ethone in the final. In fact, the only player on here that was in the finals. So, good job. Then for our Premier MVP, since we don't have conferences, there's only one MVP, not a per conference MVP. And for anyone that watched the Premier tier this season is going to be totally shocked by this. We've got Ethone of the Basilisk. Congrats, Ethone. Got an all-star this season, got MVP, got a championship. You cannot have a more successful season than that. That's a triple crown, as they call it in other sports. He did it all. He came in. He saw. He conquered. Congrats. Thank you. You're a stud. What can we say? All right. And that is our tiers. We're going to go back through the championship rosters. Just like, this is the important part. These are our players. These people have put in the time all season and the effort. They got the ship. It's a long season and a long playoff with the double elimination. So we want to give our champions a little extra time in the sun. So let's go back through it. Of course, contender, Dodo Birds of the Birdcage, Shazampoof, Slowlo, Tech4, congrats. Thank you for carrying N-Creds to another one. He needed it. Prospect, Ghouls, your boy Blue, Just Laban, Astarte, of the Mythical, carried Hawkish. Thank you. He also needed it. You might have hurt the league as a whole by making Hawkish look like a good GM, so maybe be careful in the future. Challenger, Isonade of the Yokai. We got Confucius Dragon, Bri456, Tryhard Goblin, representing the Yokai. Coop as the GM. Coop really reaping the rewards in these middle tiers. Congrats to you guys. Then we got Rival, Escapist, Jordan, 1377, never forget it. Beans Dot, also never forget it. And Fluffles. What a dream team, representing the Escapists of Alcatraz and General Manager Ben. Up and coming producer for the RSC Media Committee. Keep an eye out. He's going to be taking my job one day. Then we got the Vet Champions. Bake Kujira, Tor, Kundi, Kiramex 08, representing the Yokai, and Coop again. Congrats. Then we've got the Elite, and tell me if you've heard this one before. We got the Gyuki, representing the Yokai, and Coop. We got Philly is washed, making I don't know what you call that. Is that a sad face? Is that just like a passive face? Disappointed? Not sure what you would say in the English language, but it's a face nonetheless. Marcus, Dot. Don't forget the Dot. And then Sir Tommy Noble bringing up the rear. Congrats to them. Great season, great finals, great championship. Then we've got the Premier Champs, the Basilisk, Etho, Shaner Boehner, Super, representing the Mythical, and Hawkish. Once again, making Hawkish look good. He doesn't deserve it. Don't read into this. It's just Hawkish. Congrats to these guys. Excellent season, excellent finals. Way to show your grit coming from the lower bracket. Love to see it. Yeah, bad taste in well, these are classic. These ones are classic. These are the I try really hard at the game. Soon you're going to see Shaner Boehner with like a 3-letter name. How he's going to turn Shaner Boehner into 3 letters? Not sure. Ethon's just going to be ETH, ETH. Super is just Sup, of course. These guys are going to be hitting the Ocala design soon. You got to respect Super for the shades. I don't even know if these are their real car designs, but if they are, you got to love a topper on a Premier player. Represent the toppers. Underutilized. I think they make you better. Yeah, don't be surprised, though, if you see ETH and Shun, that's what their names will be, in stock Fenix, like Ocalid or something like that. Freaking Premier tryhards, man. What are you going to do? All right. And so that is the end of our championships. Going into it, we've got our franchise and then GM of the season. I don't know if there's an order we normally do this in. I just like this order, so that's what we're doing. Franchise of the season. We've got the Yokai, GM by Coop. 162 wins to 132 losses on the season. Great record. 6 out of 7 teams in the playoffs. Almost perfect. 3 championships. What can you say? You don't got to get every team in, but if half of your teams win, what can you do? That's just a great franchise. So congrats to the Yokai, congrats to Coop, congrats to every team there that won and the ones that didn't. You still had a great season. Most of you made it to the playoffs, and you still contributed to this franchise of the season vote. Good job. Now we've got the GM of the season, and unfortunately, guys, it is Hawkish of the Mythical. 7 out of 7 teams in the playoffs, 2 championships, second place overall in regular season record, and unfortunately, first and last season as GM. Came in, got the all-star lineup of management together, not to toot my own horn, but Tuxedo Mark's kind of great at management. So, and then, of course, Action Chugger, doesn't need to be said. Without us, I mean, I'm taking this award for myself as well. Obviously, it was mostly me and Chug, but we do like to be in the shadow normally. So I guess this is kind of what we signed up for. But yes, rest in peace, Hawkish as GM, 2022 to 2022. It was a glorious run, great burst, and sad to see him go. One of my friends in here. So hopefully he gets GM of another franchise eventually. I know he's GM of CSC. He'll probably get GM in a threes league at some point. If he does, hopefully they do worse than my franchise, because I like to win a lot. All right, and that's our GM and franchise of the season. So congrats once again to the Yokai with Coop, and congrats to Hawkish. I'm going to take this one from me as well. Congrats to me. Congrats to Action Chugger. Excellent management. All right. So that's honestly, that's it for the content here of our wrap-up show. Ben's ready for me to teach him how to take my job. All right. So I'm getting the cane to pull me off stage. I've talked too long. Congrats to all our champions. Congrats to everyone this season. We had from what I consider, a very successful season. Our Twos League continues to grow. Thank you everyone who participated. Thank you everyone who was going to sign up. Thank you to thank you to all the admins. Endcreds has been my point of contact for media. Been great to work with. Congrats to everyone. Congrats to all the GMs. And thank you to them. Could not have a successful season without the GMs, without the admins, without the transaction committee, without the stats committee. Thank you to everyone except Slate. He's the worst. Once again, the league is nothing without the players. So thank you for coming out and playing and giving your all and showing up week after week, even when you could be having a bad season, even when you could be having a good season. The league cannot function without everyone showing up and giving it their all. So thank you for coming out week in, week out. I don't know when 2 signups are opening again. Hopefully soon. And please be ready to sign up. We need signups. We want to see this league grow. The more signups we get, the better. The more teams we can add, the more competitive we can make this, the more fun I think everyone has when there's more players, the more tiers we can have. So if you like 2s and you had fun, sign up again. If you have friends who like 2s, make them sign up. I want to be doing this for a long time. So, I'm not too much of an emotional guy, so I think I'm gonna cut it there. But yes, congrats to everyone. Thank you to everyone. Wonderful season. Hope to see you all back next season for season 4 and many more seasons after that. Season 3s is still going. So, maybe tune in on Monday and Wednesday. We got streams going every Monday and Wednesday. Hopefully next 2 season, we also got streams going every Tuesday. That's the goal. So I hope you guys come out. Thanks for listening to me talk. This will never happen again. Probably, maybe next season. I don't know. I might get a riot with the media committee. Musa might kick me off because he doesn't like people with voices like mine talking. So, anyways, great season. Have a good one. Love you all. I'm out.